This is not the kind of video I was planning on making. I'm always talking about how much I love Hawaii and what Hawaii is all about. And I would be tone deaf if I didn't talk about the coronavirus. So we got to talk about it. What's it like? What's going on? And I have a message at the end for everyone, and I really want you to wait until the end and listen to this because it's really important. Right now in Hawaii, as of this recording, it's March 22nd, 2020. The coronavirus has infected 48, we have 48 reported cases. I got a message from a university professor who's got expertise in biology and computer science. He modeled this out. In 10 days, we're gonna have 1,300 cases. So right now, what's going on in Hawaii, they've imposed a 14-day quarantine on anyone who is arriving in the islands, whether you're a visitor or whether you're a returning resident, you're gonna go through a 14-day quarantine. So if you're gonna go on a 2-week vacation, you're gonna spend all that 2-week vacation in your hotel. I would recommend at this point, in case you haven't already come to this conclusion yourself, do not take a trip to Hawaii right now. That saddens my heart in so many ways to have to say that. The visitor industry, people's jobs, it is a terrible situation, but it's just not going to help the situation in any way, and you run the risk of infection as well. Keep an eye on these things, but until you hear otherwise, don't come to Hawaii. Don't take a trip. All non-essential retail has been shut down. Businesses are putting essentially their company on ice, in hibernation mode, if you will. We of course don't know when things are going to turn out. I'm sure this is going on where you live too, and if it hasn't, I'm sure it will, the way that this thing is spreading. So what does it feel like? A couple of things strike my mind, and I think some of those things will be common to you as well if you are in an infected area right now, or again, if you're not, if you will be. These things will, I think, apply to you too. Traffic is, of course, eerily light, right? You go in, a couple of days ago, I was in traffic in the worst possible time you could ever be in traffic, which is just a few minutes before 8 o'clock, 7:45 on a weekday when normally traffic is like massive and, nobody on the road. Kind of feels like one of those dystopian kind of movies where, you're the only one on the road. So it really feels that way. Very, very light traffic. People are freaking out. People are freaking out. And there's a lot of good reasons for that fear. Obviously, they're buying stuff off the shelves, all the essentials things, the things that in Hawaii, it's all about rice and Spam and toilet paper. Hawaii, we're kind of used to emergencies. We go through hurricane season every year, and a lot of times these hurricane warnings are, stock up, get ready, etc. So we've kind of been through this before, but you're still not prepared. People are freaking out. We don't have like hordes rushing. I've heard, I have got some friends on the mainland who said that people are getting into physical fights, physical violence over products at a store. We don't have that here. We still have the aloha spirit, thank God. We have the aloha spirit in Hawaii. So when you go to a grocery store, for example, people are there with a mission, right? No one's kind of, no one's going shopping for fun per se. We're going to the grocery store because we've got to go get some supplies. I'm on a mission. I need to get it done. I need to get in. I need to get out. And so there's that feeling at the grocery stores, this I'm on a mission kind of a sense. People are on the edge. They're nice, they're courteous, they're quiet, but they're on the edge. And I think that's happening where you're at as well. So where's Hawaii? Where might Hawaii be different in what's going on here from the mainland? I think that might be interesting for you to know. Shipping. Shipping's a big deal. So essentially, everything comes into Hawaii on ships. Freight container ships that arrive in Hawaii at the docks. There's a little bit that's flown in, but that's relatively minor. So we've always had this paranoia of, well, what happens if shipping ends, or what happens if the docks get cut off? There was a strike in 1971 where dock workers went on strike for 130 days. And as the supplies went down, toilet paper was one of the first things to go, which is why today the old folks always go for the toilet paper in Hawaii when we get a warning. So having those shipping lines disrupted is always an underlying fear, because if that happens, and it won't happen, well, I can't say it won't happen, but it's never happened. It's never happened. Even in the middle of war or during Great Depression times, it's never happened. So there's good reason to believe it won't happen again. But still, the fear of that is underlying, and it kind of permeates the place. We're afraid. And Hawaii is not self-sufficient. Now, neither is any place else in the world. We live in a connected world. It is impossible to be 100% self-sufficient. We don't have toilet paper factories, right? But Hawaii, because it's a combination of isolation, and because also there's only one form of freight to get in here, it creates a level of stress and anxiety. We're isolated. We are furthest away from any other landmass than any other place on Earth. Now, I was hoping initially that the isolation was going to help us. I was hoping, for example, I was really hoping that community spread was going to be difficult. Typically, viruses have a hard time transmitting, passing on in humid and warm areas, and Hawaii's humid and warm. And so I was like, all right, man, I think it's going to be all right. But no, it has been passing on here as well. We do have community spread. How pervasive, how huge, I don't know. Almost all of those 48 cases, however, are cases of people that contracted the virus and came to Hawaii. However, there is community spread. So that remains to be seen, but I'm a little bit less optimistic about community spread than I used to be. And now, therefore, the isolation makes it worse for us. It's worse because if this thing spreads, there's a feeling that, well, you're on your own. You're in the middle of nowhere. You know, we've got bigger problems to deal with than Hawaii. You guys are just going to have to kind of take care of yourselves. And I feel that way. I don't know how true that is, but that's how I feel. Now, one thing is, it's still beautiful. Today's a beautiful day. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous day. And I'm so grateful to be able to make this recording. So Hawaii's still beautiful. You can still go outside and still feel good going outside. You can still go for a walk and it's okay. You can walk your dog and it's okay. The beaches are technically closed, legally closed. I don't know what that really means though, because in Hawaii, the beaches are sort of they're like a constitutional right. And I'm gonna guess that surfers are still going in the water. We have a little bit of flex on that, but one thing's for sure, you can go outside and it's beautiful. You can go outside and be warmed by the sun. It's okay to go outside. And that's a nice thing. You know, certainly going to the ocean allows you to have social distancing. Maybe the beaches that have lifeguards are closed, beaches that have parking lots are closed, but there's a lot of raw coastline that there's essentially nobody there. And I don't see a practical way for those to be closed. I don't know what's gonna happen, and you should follow all laws, do not break the law. Last thing we need is lawlessness, but this is a general sense of what I'm feeling. Where do we go from here? This is a message I have for all of you. Whether you're interested in Hawaii or you just came to this video, where do we go from here? Look, right now, the world is gripped in fear for good reason, right? I don't need to give you the details. This thing is scary. It's a virus. It's got, you know, it's much deadlier than a traditional virus. It's spreading like crazy. And there's so much of this we don't know. So there is good reason to be afraid. Good reason to be afraid. But you know, there's gonna come a point in time pretty soon when we're gonna need to shift. We're gonna need to shift from being afraid to taking action. And I'm asking you to join me and make that shift now. What do I mean by that? Look, governments are gonna do the best they can, but they've got their hands full. We cannot sit at home and binge on Netflix while the authorities fix things. It's not gonna happen that way. We have to wake up, shift. I'm asking you to shift from fear to action. Take action. What kind of action should you take? I don't know. I don't know, but you do. Because every one of us has a unique perspective, and we have a unique gift, and we have something that we know needs to be done. And I don't even want to give examples. Don't even want to give examples. We all have something to do, and we all need to do it. And what I suggest is this: you start with you. Start with you. What can you do? And start doing what you can do to make things better. Use your creativity. Then what's going to happen is other people who want to do the same thing you want to do will join you, or you will join them. You will form a network. You will form a tribe. And your tribe will do something positive. Your tribe will take action. Your tribe will band together and get something done. So what I'm asking you to do is I'm asking you today, right now, as you watch this video, I'm asking you to shift. Shift from fear to action. I'm not telling you to put yourself in harm's way. I'm not telling you to break any local laws. Do it from home. I don't care. Find something that speaks to you, something that you can do. Because this virus, it's viral, right? And we all know what viral means. We used to think it means like, a viral hashtag or a viral video. And no, it's a viral virus, right? This thing is like a network. It operates like a network in many ways. We're gonna need a network to beat it. We can beat it, but we can't beat it with top-down centralized management. We need the network. We have the internet. We can communicate. We can create groups. We can create tribes. We're gonna need the world to network together and get this thing, stamp this thing out. It's war. You have to realize it's war. And what I mean by war is we have to have a drastic reallocation of resources. Don't waste the resources that you have. Make use of the resources that you have. Look around you. There is a role for you to play. You have a role to play. I don't know what that role is. You know what that role is. I'm asking you to take action. I'm asking you to shift from fear and to shift to action. Do, and I want you to do it. I don't want you tweeting about someone else should do it. Don't tell people what they ought to be doing. That's not going to help. You focus on what you're going to be doing. Then either lead or follow. You may have heard the line, lead, follow, or get out of the way. There is no getting out of the way, because getting out of the way means you're not going to do anything. And that's not an option. It is not an option for any of us to do nothing. You might be unemployed, you might be out of a job, you're going to be sitting at home. Don't spend that time binging on Netflix at home. Do something. Figure out what you can do. Anything you can do is better than doing nothing. Anything you can do is better than doing nothing. And I truly believe if we all catch this new virus, this virus of shift, let's make that go viral. Shift to action. Shift away from fear and shift to action. We're gonna win. We're gonna get this done. I don't know where the solutions are, and there may not be a solution. It's very, very possible that this thing is gonna sweep through our communities and many people are gonna die. That's entirely possible. But you know what? It doesn't matter. We still need to do something. We need to help each other. You need to figure out what is good. You need to figure out what speaks to you and take that and get into action. Shift from fear to action. Connect with others. Form a tribe or join a tribe. One of the two, but don't run away from it all. Do not stay at home and binge on Netflix. Please let me know what you think. This may be the start of something, and if it is, I'm gonna keep going with it. I'm gonna keep talking about it. I'm gonna do my part. I'm doing something, and I'm gonna continue to do something, because we've gotta start. We've gotta get into action. This is Peter Kay. Shift from fear, shift to action. Aloha.